Hey everybody, happy Valentine's Day everyone out there. How you doing? Yeah, it's Saturday, it's Valentine's Day, and we're playing a video game. My wife is very understanding and very patient. Hey everyone, welcome back to Satisfactory. Gotta think about that for a second. What am I playing? Satisfactory, Space Engineers? What? Where am I? What am I doing? Yeah, we are back playing Satisfactory, and we are continuing on with getting to the Mark 6. Stop calling it that. The Mark 3 6x6 blueprinter, because I have desires to rebuild my nuclear fuel rod. So one of the things I'm discovering, let me get out of photo mode here. One of the things I'm discovering is that all this high-end tier stuff is really power hungry, and you can see here that I've blown past where I'm producing my power. Fortunately, a lot of my machines, like the ones you can see around me here, are kind of, working not at full capacity because, the system's full and it can only drain so fast, and, well, they're not designed to run necessarily completely just to keep me supplied. But yeah, I've got some serious issues with my power coming on. Just for things like the teleporters and all the fancy new machines that we can now unlock. So we have things like the quantum encoder, the converter, the particle accelerator was an old one, but I mean, look at that, 1500 megawatts, 400 megawatts, 2000 megawatts. When you compare it to a constructor, which is 4 megawatts, I mean, that is a large jump there. So as soon as we start getting into this row, we are starting to get into some real power. So that means I want to use the Mark III blueprinter so that I can build a more easily set up, quicker setup uranium fuel rod processing, so that I can just dump in the basic materials and kick out uranium fuel rod. In fact, that's kind of what I've been doing a blueprint on. So if we have a look here, and we'll turn on that, there you go, so you can see the screen. Can I edit the bottom there? No. Okay, well, that's... guys don't need to see my taskbar there. There we go. All right, that's better. So you can see here that at 0.4 uranium fuel rods, I haven't managed to unlock any of the uranium fuel rod recipes, just because the man hates me. But this is a self-contained unit here. So basically, I'm going to get 0.4, which is good for 2 nuclear power plants, uranium fuel rods here, and then everything else is going to be inside. So I input my copper, deuterium, coal, iron, water, sulfur, limestone, and uranium. And does that seem like it's the only thing missing here is SAM ore, to be honest. So all of the basic resources can get loaded in, and then get into the various processing through here with feedback loops and balancing and all that other fun stuff, all hopefully within 1 6x6 footprint. The only thing that I'm still not sure I want to do is adding this amount, the electromagnetic fuel rods here. Mostly because I already have a pretty good blueprint for it. And these guys really are a complex system, but they do share some resources. So I think I do want to have it so that just I put in raw resources and out spits a uranium fuel rod. I'll deal with getting rid of the plutonium, like the nuclear waste, with the old plutonium system. I might even think about combining that into a single one, but that's what I want to get unlocked. But to do so, I am going to need the... where am I? There we go. Let's turn that off again. Okay. You think you'd have your software all set up in the way you'd like it before you start doing your streams, but nope, that's just the way it is. It's not that easy to crop. There we go. That works better. Okay. So yeah, that's what we are doing. That's what I was trying to do last week, but we kind of got hung up. We had to do some manufacturing, but we do got all the buildings doing their things, and we were waiting for the stuff to get processed. I am happy to report that it has all been processed. So if we go down to our frames here, you can see that we now have more than enough. Well, we actually have enough. So if I take these guys, I can boop and get all of those guys in here. So that should be the 150 I need for there. And then if we look at the whatever those weird boxy things are, the neural quantum processor, I've got 300 currently sitting inside the dimensional depot, so we can grab some of these. How many did I need? I needed less than that. Okay, let's put some of these back. Let's just go boop and see if we can't upload. So yeah, I'm trying to upload some stuff, trying to clean some of my stuff up. You know what? I can get rid of them. If they're not uploading, that means the system's full, so I can get rid of them. All right, that should leave me now enough to finally not only get the Mark III blueprinter, but literally unlock the last missing or unclaimed milestone. So we can dump those in. Hold down control. There you go. Thank you. And here we go. The last bit of the puzzle and the last milestone.
Milestone reached. The Blueprint Designer Mark III allows for 20% increased blueprint size in all dimensions, for an overall 71.2% increase in volume. Sadly, I doubt we will see equivalent increases in your efficiency.
Well, come on, Ada, give me a break. That's exactly what the whole point of me unlocking them for is, so that I can make it more efficient. All right, that is done. We have the Mark VI. If we look in here, oh, no, wrong. There we go. And under special, Mark III. I stopped calling it the Mark VI, but I can't help it. That's just my brain. All right, so let's go figure out where we're going to do this. I think I'm actually going to set this up at the nuclear power plant. So we're going to take the nuclear plant. Ignore all those signs. Oh, before I do that, let's actually take a quick trip to the phase 5. So that would be this way. And woo, under the truck. I got stuck. There we go. All right, so one of the couple of things I have done is I've added this little side building here, which is... Nope, that's not it. Where is it? There it is. No, where is it? Where have I done? I do have the right thing loaded, don't I? Oh, that's right. It's over here. La 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 la. I've got a sink building over here because what I did do is in these. I think it's this one here. Nope, not those ones. Where are they? I have to go through here. Let's go down a couple of floors. Could have taken the elevator, but I didn't, so I'm not. All right, where are they? Yeah, singularity cells here. So my singularity cells by base, there's only 15, but you can see I managed to find myself some more summer sleuths. In fact, I went on a big hunt for these guys across the map here. Mostly I spent a lot of time in here, in the kind of northern desert area there, the sandy dunes, whatever that is officially called. I can never remember, and I quite frankly suck at the names part of it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I kind of picked up a whole schmuckload of the summer sloops, which means I could put 4 into here. So I'm not just making the 15 now. I am now making the 30 summer sloops per minute. Of course, that also means I'm generating using a lot more power. So you can see 376 megawatts there. If I take these guys out, It's going to be stuck on that 376 because it's got to finish the cycle. But yeah, it increases my power usage, and but it does mean that I'm not going to run dry, so I can actually open up my teleporter, because those are the kind of the main things for the teleportation system. Speaking of the teleportation system, la la la. And yeah, so you can see what I'm doing here is I'm just dumping all of the excess stuff because I actually managed to fill it all up. In fact, let's go up one floor here just to keep the tour going, because apparently I'm now stalling. And we'll drop down to the service floor here. So a lot of the expensive stuff is going to come down this line here. In other words, there we go. You can see, I think there goes a singularity cell. Not a singularity cell. What are these guys? Whatever is up here. So these guys are now, so yeah, any extra neural processors. I mean, I'm only making 1.5 per minute right now because that's all I really needed. The system seems to be holding up, actually. Doing, yeah. Making 3 per minute by making 1.5 per minute, but it's really kicking me in the power nards. Mostly because I want to keep these values low. Well, why don't I just crack it up to full? Because it's really going to increase how many of these things I need. So, for example, here I need 7.5 time crystals, 1.5 supercomputers. 3 supercomputers is a lot more difficult to obtain than that. So again, I'm just kind of utilizing the magic crystals to fix things up. So anyway, any of those guys, as soon as they get filled up, they're going to dump out. These guys actually did the superposition oscillators at 2 per minute. The dark matter crystals were actually blocking up. So I left a hole in the floor because you can see here that the dimensional depot is absolutely chock full of these things. I have no idea why I'm putting them into my dimensional depot. I will need them eventually. Don't need that there anymore. So yeah, just kind of keeping things going, keeping things, moving. Hopefully not letting the system block up, and try to keep as we head for our last 2 items. Of course, before we can do the last 2 phase 5 items here, I am going to need to get more power, because I have a funny feeling I am going to double my power needs over the next week or so. Okay, let's get back to just fun taking the elevator. I like having walkable bases, to be honest. I really do. Okay, and in through the door. And push the button. I also have the urge to just go, push the button, Croc! I know that's not her voice, it's more like a Doofenshmirtz. Barry the Platypus! So yeah. Let's see. Give me half a second here. Sorry about that. Alright, back to the base. And now let's run over to the nuclear plant. And see where we can expand. I also want to take a trip over to here and update our wall of subs. So you can see here we are at 764 subs. We have now made it to 769. Sorry, it's an involuntary reflex. 69. So I want to update the board here. So we're going to grab one of those. Let's actually update the number here. So we're now at 769. Thank you guys very much for your subscriptions. Again, it helps me reach my current goal of 1,000. So we're going to put another one there. So that's 765. 766, and I need 3 more. 7, 8, and 9. All right, there we go. 769 subs. I'm being irradiated by that little beggar over there. Oh, Saturday mornings, the body just doesn't like waking up and getting all and sniff. All right, where am I going to do this? I want to do this where I'm not going to get irradiated, which probably... I don't need to be close to anything overly. Let's get this out of here. Aw, you're cute. It's so funny. Yeah, come on. Come in. You saw nothing. He had a gun. All right. Do I have enough? Yeah, see that I have to keep an eye on too, because they've apparently done a lot of power connections up here. So let me bring up the power line. Can I connect from you? Let's put a... Actually, you know what? No, let's do a power or a light pole. So I'll just grab one of my little light stand units here. I'm going to put you right in the corner. Just could always use a little bit more light around the place anyway, and then I can grab that. And we'll pop you right there. And then right there. Okay, let's get our place to put our blueprinter down. Hold down the control key to make sure I'm in grid mode. Hello, Mr. Tree. Let's go out by 8. It's all right. Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's spread a little bit of explosive love. And oops. And of course I didn't get these guys here. And another one over here. And let's clear these out. Make sure that there's nothing getting in the way. And there we go. All right. Zaboomsies. All right. That's gonna give us enough room to work. Let's get all this filled back in now, and filled in for the first time, because I didn't actually fill all of it in yet. Like so. And like so. All right, and I think I'm gonna take you, go bye-bye temporarily, because I'm gonna use my 45 light stands here. And we'll spin you around. Let's see, we'll put you there, and then we can still move you out. So there's one. And another one over here. Like that. Let's come back to the other side. Because I just want to make sure that I'm surrounded by power lines so that I don't have to worry about my hover pack running out like it just did there. That's what I'd like to avoid, please and thank yous. I need to turn you. There we go. Now we can do our nudge. And into the corner. And now we can just run our power lines. So we go from here to there. There. close the circuit and attach to that one. La, 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 la. And am I out of... Ooh, I am out of Noblex. Look at that. Okay, well, let's put this away. Okay, so there's our platform ready to go. Now we need our Mark 6s. Mark 3. What is wrong with me? Mark 3. Let's put the control panel there. That is a big-ass bugger, which I suppose is the whole damn point. And center you up. Are you centered yet? You look centered. And there we go. What the hell did I just throw in there? Oh my god, it takes singularity cells. Or whatever those things are. What are those things? Neural processor squarey things. There's names of these things. I used to know what their names were. Neural quantum processor. Now I don't. Alright, so here we go. So how do I want to do this? Well, first thing is I do want to keep all of the inputs on one side here. And I think what I'm going to do is work my way backwards. So what it needs to come out, let's bring up our, make sure I can reference my little chart here. So there you go. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to work my way back to here. So the only thing that's coming out is the uranium fuel rods at 0.4 per minute. I kind of like to increase that, but right now it's, I can get away with single machines for most of this stuff. A couple of here that I might need to put a power shard into, which of course is more power. What would happen if I increased you to 2? See, well, I don't know why that should go up to 0.88. I don't trust this. I really don't. Why do you insist? See, that is a little troubling. I don't understand why it's doing that when I say I want 0.8 of one. It's like there's some sort of weird limitation. I go back to 0.4 and it's perfectly fine. Let me look at kind of a different way of doing this. Let's go to... I haven't used it in a while. Yeah, here we go. The Satisfactory tools page. I want to see what that would do if we did uranium fuel rods. Uranium fuel rod. No, at 0.08 or 0.8. How does that play out for us? So 2 manufacturers, 1 electromagnetic assembler, 2 constructors, not sure what the hell you're doing here. Why? Why are you using this for... Oh my god. Like, what? Okay, nope. It's mixing and matching recipes, and I don't feel like screwing around with it that much. Okay, forget you. We're just going to do it as a simple model. We're just going to do it at 0.4. Kind of basic setup here. Okay. Thank you for playing. All right, so we're going to start off with 1 manufacturer. We're going to dump out the front here, so let's grab our manufacturer and get right to it. So we're going to grab one of these guys here. We're going to point you in that direction. Make sure you have a little bit of room here. And I'm going to go all the way out to the edges. Going to leave like basically enough room for conveyors to get through and me to get through. So maybe there, and yeah, I like that. Let's go with that. Okay, so this is going to be our uranium fuel rod. Okay, uranium fuel rod needs a blender. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. So if I take a blender, and every time I start thinking I have more than enough room, you come along. Actually, let's turn you. So I'm probably going to have to kind of do this and tear it down and put it up and tear it down. Just because it is a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. Let's line you up like that. Okay, let's make, what are you making? You're making me my... You're making me what? What are you making me? Encased uranium cell? Yeah, that's it. Encased uranium cell. Which, of course, is outputting 25% of its sulfuric acid. So we'll grab a lift. Do I care? No, you know what? We're going to go full on high tech here. You know what? No, we're going to do a little bit of a change up here. Let's take that out. We need a service floor. We need to make sure that we're... I should keep it as a completely self-contained, yeah. Okay, so we're going to put down a foundation first. We're actually going to build the full service floor. Instead of being something I put on top of foundations, it's going to include its foundations. And I think I'm going to need to do that because I'm going to need the space underneath for moving some other stuff around. So let me get this all filled in. Like that. So what that means is that I'm going to be getting in that little gap that's right there. Is going to be included in here. Okay, so now I'm going to need to go up by 2 walls, and then we can come across like so. Now it's not going to nicely slot into the current 5x5 or 4x4 or any of the current foundation systems I got up. That's all right, because these are going to be all new machineries. Okay, so there we go. Let's grab some signage. As in lights. So we'll put a light there. We'll put one there. Like so. Like so. Like so. And the problem, of course, with having my ceiling lights here is that eventually they might get in the way of me when I drop things to the bottom of the floor, but I'll deal with that when it gets there. That way, you know, we can see what the hell it is that we're doing. Okay, so let's set this manufacturer up again. So, manufacturer, right there. And doesn't like floating in space. Well, that is just fine. Okay, so you're gonna go there. Then we take our blender. If I was a blender, I'd blender in the blender. I'd blender in the blender. All over the blender. Yes. Okay, you can go there. Let's grab our lift. Oops, let's get into the right menu. There we go. We're going to do the Mark 6s. We're going to go that way, and then we're also going to use the Mark 6C here for no other reason, but why not? They're fancy. And there we go. Okay. Now, the sulfur needs to come back to here. So let's get a refinery. Because that's what's going to make me my sulfur. Yeah, let's put you over here. Sneak you in nice and tight right there. Make sure we've got room. We'll come forward a little bit. Yeah, just like that. No. Actually, let's go back to here. Ave Maria. No idea why that just broke out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go underneath. Okay, that's fine. That's why we put it there. That's not enough room there. I need more room for the input, so we'll go to there. It seems a little bit silly, considering that I just need to go from here to here, but I'm going to send the pipe downstairs because I need a little bit of space that's not occupied by a giant machine. So we're going to go underneath here. We need to backfeed what comes out of here. I'm only going to be utilizing 3/4 of it. The rest, because this only uses 3/4 of it, 25% of it is going to have to get fed back into the system. So I'm going to put in the reasoning or the place for that. So we need to grab underneath here. Do I have a straight function that'll work? Of course, it doesn't work. Yeah, the straight on the pipe just isn't a thing. It doesn't seem to want to do what I want it to do. Okay, so we go to 1, 2, and then I can come back into there. Did I leave myself enough room here? Because I need to put in a valve. There. I need to put in, yeah, we're gonna have to. I don't have enough room. How did I center this up? I didn't at all. Good. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's take it all out. That's the whole point, is that we can, iterative. We want to get it right. We also want it to, not upset anyone's OCD or any of those other fun things. Okay. Just need the tiniest little bit more space, so we'll move this over by 1 notch or meter, I think it is. We'll put our pipes back in again. We'll use noodle because that's the one that seems to want to work. Then we can come back underneath here. Let's move this over as well. Let's grab our merger splitter. What's it? Some good jolly thingamabobby. One of these, pipeline junction. That can go there. That can go there. And fit the valve in. Perfect. Right there. And plug that in. And I'll leave noodle. All right, so you need to send a total of 32. Up again, we look at our, what's it here? And just make sure you guys can see it. Yes, you can. So we need a total of 32 sulfuric acid coming out of this refinery. But we're going to be backfeeding 8 back into here. I need to make some adjustments on clock speeds and stuff here as well. So in fact, I only want 24 to be able to come through here. So we'll go into our valve and we will lock you at 24. That means there's always going to be that 8 available for him. What 8 is that? That is the 8 that is going to come out of here. So we can put that there. Grab our pipe. There we go. Let's tighten this up a little bit and come forward with this. Yeah, really. Okay. Don't want to use noodle here, though. Just trying to get you a little bit more firmed up. There we go. Okay, and what do you actually need to be doing? You need to be running, you're making encased uranium cells, but you're only going to be making 20 of the encased uranium cells. All right. You are making me uranium fuel rods at 0.4 per minute. Excellent. Awesome. Okay, I just realized something. I'm going to take a quick run back to the base, which shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of time spent on closing the bases up. I want to get everything encased properly. And woo! Good morning, Nell. What I am designing is I finally unlocked the Mark III blueprinter. So I am designing a contained uranium. What am I looking for? Where did I put those hard drives? Am I carrying them? Oh, I am carrying them. I'm making a complete uranium fuel cell setup, which is going to be based off this. So this is the Satisfactory modeler. So what I want is 0.4, which is enough for two nuclear reactors to come out of the system. And what I want to have, because right now it's broken into 2 mats because I built it when we only had the Mark I, so 4x4. So basically I want it to be so I can just feed in the raw materials. So that's literally all the raw materials. The copper, I don't have the recipes for the other ones. The copper, the iron, the coal, the deuterium, water, uranium, sulfur, limestone, and outspits my uranium fuel rod. And that is what I'm going to try to squeeze into a 6x6x6 setup. Fortunately, the most kind of difficult ones are these first 3 that I'm currently placing because, well, they're the biggest. From there, everything goes down to either assemblers or even better, constructors and smelters. So that is the plan for today. All right, so what I wanted to do is just make sure I had my hard drives while I was out collecting summer sloops off camera. I did pick up a couple of hard drives, so I'm going to take them out to a man and see what kind of interesting recipes I might be able to pick up. And I'm pretty sure I have ma'am over here. Do I not have a ma'am over here? You thought I was going to get hit. I do not have a ma'am over here. I should probably put a ma'am over here. So we're going to grab What do you... Why here? Well, that's kind of my utility closet space here. Maybe I'll just put it out of here, out of the way. I don't know. Yeah, let's just put it there for now. Can always move it. All right. Let's get a hard drive in there. Maybe with any kind of luck, I'll actually get something decent for a change. Yeah, you know, I got through my basic... Oof. I'm already pushing to the top here. Yeah, it's going to be a tight squeeze. It is definitely going to be a tight squeeze. But we're going to try to see what we can get done. I mean, you know, that can poke out through. We can have a second floor, third floor. All right, all right, all right, all right. Enough talking. More action, less talking. Okay, so we have you for my uranium fuel rods. We have you, my encased uranium cells, and then you need to be sulfuric acid. Okay, the sulfuric acid needs concrete, as well as other things are going to need concrete. Actually, I'm going to focus what goes into the blender. Yeah, let's do the encased uranium set, because we need the encased industrial beams to go in there. I'm going to be using the alternate for that, which is the encased pipes, just because I need pipes for other things. So instead of having to make beams and pipes, I just want to make pipes, and I don't need that many. So even though the encased pipe is less per minute, it is still more than sufficient. Most of these machines are going to be running at a very, very reduced rate. Okay, so you... Actually, you could probably squeeze in right here. Yeah, you could probably squeeze in right there. Or... Nope, you cannot do that. I'm gonna leave some room for getting up and down, upper levels and stuff. Yeah, let's reverse you. Okay, let's go like that. And like I said, I'm going to use the encased industrial pipe. That has to come over to here. Again, I'm going to use the fancy stuff. Do I want to use the fancy stuff for this? No, I have absolutely no need. I mean, really, that's what I need. Maybe I'll just stick with Mark IIIs. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Mark IIIs on all these things here. I don't need anything super fancy. More importantly, super expensive. I'm going to just... Yeah, let's go use Mark IIIs for all this stuff. Okay, now that you've come from there, and you're going to route you around the corner here. And there, and there. I think I need to come up by one more. Yep. Like so. And then we grab our Mark III belt, and we can go over here Actually, we're going to have to do that in reverse, but that's all right. And 1, 2, and 3. Up by 2, 1, 2, and 3. You're really going to be a bit of an uncooperative little bugger, aren't you? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can just we'll get it to do it what I want. There you go. See? Okay. And we can come all the way around to the corner here. And then we can go into there. Okay. So that's the encased industrial beam. The next item that I'm going to need to squeeze in here. Where did that concrete? I needed the concrete also for the encased uranium cells. So let's put our constructor here. We can squeeze him in right here. Wish there's some way to mark on the planning map here. Okay, so I need 18 concretes. Need to make sure I can get the limestone into the back. Yeah, this actually... Yeah, that should work. So, when it comes out of here, we're going to need a splitter. And I need to make sure I can almost walk underneath things. We're going to go up to there. We can now grab our, again, a Mark III. There. That'll lovely connect into there, and then we can come straight back to here, just like that. All right, so some of you is going to go that way, and some of you is going to go that way, and you are going to be making my concrete. I need a power shard in there, and I need a total of, what was I needing? 6 plus 12, so 18. 18 concrete. All right, that's got that one. Okay, so concrete's done. Then it can go into limestone, and that'll come out right through here. So let's actually complete this part of it here. 5. And right there. You can go into there. And of course the pipe is just almost in the way, but it's not, so it's good. And you two here. Let's try to stay somewhat organized here. And actually hang a sign for what you are. And you are 54 limestone per minute. So, yeah, let's do. Actually, you know what? I don't care about that. Let's change the layout of this. I just want text. We are going to go with our standard pretty sign. So we're going to go with a white background with the darker letters, not black letters, but darker letters. Nope, these are all... Is these my letters? Yeah, these are my letters. Select color? Yeah, nope. Nope, I got that backward. Dark letters. Dark letter. Finer overalls. Select color. That's what I'm looking for. And it is lime stone 54 per minute. Okay, and then I could just use that as the framework for the rest of my signs. Okay, so the next thing I can do is actually, let's get the refinery fully connected now. So we need to bring water and sulfur in. So this shouldn't be too deep of a line. So we'll go into here. Research is complete. We'll run over there in a second here, see what piece of garbage recipe, sorry, what magical recipe we got this time. And again, I want to keep using the Mark IIIs. There we go. Let's have a look at the MAM. Now, of course, as I fly past here, I do realize that I have Ethereum area being produced here. I could just spit off most of this stuff, but you know what? No, the whole point of this is to try to keep it completely self-contained. So I'm going to try to keep it completely self-contained. Please give me something decent. That's not. Wow. Exact same recipe. No, it's not. That's using time crystals as opposed to diamonds. But you know what? That's actually a good recipe. Let's grab that one. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but out of the... I don't, you know, I could have rescanned, but... Rescan gives me the heebie-jeebies. But unless I get something good, we'll try to rescan on the next one. Anyway, let's get back to this. Now, I realize by putting the service floor in here, I am kind of choking off a couple of extra levels up top, but... we'll see what we can do. Okay, so that's good. We're over here doing the refinery here, which means we need our sulfur. We'll bring our sulfur in right beside this guy. Where is the alignment on that sulfur? Maybe what I should do is just drop you down. Like that. And that way I can see, yeah, you're right, it's supposed to be right there. Perfect. Excellent. Push you back a couple. So I can drop you down a little bit. Actually, let's push you all the way back to here. No, don't. Let's actually go to there. That's better. I am absolutely using the wrong sign here. So we're going to take that sign out. We're going to do it again because I only want to use the 2-meter sign. And you saw why just then. There we go. All right, so let's change our layout again. So we'll do all of that all over again. Yay! Limestone, 54 per minute. And then our text color will be dark letter and Pioneer overalls. There we go. We copy and we paste and we update you to how much sulfur do I need? I need 32 sulfur per minute. So, I really, yeah. Sorry, I had to take a spelling check there because I suck at spelling. I keep trying to pH this damn thing. All right, sulfur. And you are 32 per minute. Okay, then we need our water. I'm going to send the water off to the side here. I'm going to keep my kind of dry goods and the wet goods separated. Again, straight just doesn't want to work, does it? No, not in the least. Are you lined up? Are you lined up? Yep, that'll do. Okay, and then all the way down to the end here. You know what the hilarious thing is? I have no idea if any of this is going to work. All right, and then we can grab our sign. Ay, ay, ay. Come on. There we go. And how much water do I need? 32 water. That still doesn't look like I spelled the word right. How the hell do you spell the damn word? It's a U, not an E, it's a U. It's not me, it's you. Can I get to the sign? No, I can't. No, I can. Well, anyway, you're supposed to be water anyway, so we'll turn you to water, and then we'll go fix the spelling over here. Words, why do you challenge me so? There's a reason why I do pretty pictures and play video games and stuff like that, is because writing makes me go, spelling hard. English language, dumb. I think we had this conversation last week. All right. That is that. Okay, so that's got the sulfuric acid. That's got my concrete, limestone. The next thing we need is we need to start getting our pipe. So I'll move to those next. We're also going to need our electromagnetic control rods in here at some point. Which I'm kind of holding off a little bit. Because that's a big bunch of stuff. And I'm not sure and otherwise, if I don't include them, what was the hell was the whole point of this? Because otherwise, yeah, it's the EM rods and the nuclear that I have to combine. That is the whole point of this exercise. Which I'm wondering here, do I have room? Instead of building it straight from scratch, I'm going to have a look at something here. Because I really just hate to kind of get myself and spend the next hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever the time it's going to take me to work this out, if I could have done this in an easier manner. So instead of going and kind of redoing it from scratch here, let's grab our blueprinter. And of course, make sure everything's all nice and lined up. Make that. And I'm going to grab the actual existing uranium fuel rod, which is right there. Now, where are the inputs for this? Because if I can just kind of squeeze the rest of it around the, it's the EM rods. It's the EM rods that I'm trying to combine into here. And if I can squeeze the rest of the EM rods, so that's the out. Yeah, that's the out. Nope, those are my ins. Don't fall. Where are the, okay, where are these nuclear fuel rods coming out? That's the sulfur. Sulfuric acid going up into here. Going into here. Which then goes into here. So that's where my uranium fuel cells or fuel rods are coming out of. Okay. So we'll turn you by 90. And I'm going to tuck you right into the corner. As you know, the walls can go right there. Okay. So this already is, this is pretty much what I have over there, right? We've got encased pipe, yep. We have our uranium fuel rods, yep. We have our encased uranium cells, yep. That was quick. I have my refinery making the sulfuric acid. You're not making enough sulfuric. Why aren't you making enough sulfuric acid? Why have you got so low? Let's get you back up to the proper amount. That's 32. All right. Where's the stuff from the blender? It's coming out of here, going over to here. That's the choke off. So we're coming up through here. There's a pump right there just to make sure everything works. So we need 2 EM rods and 9 steel pipes. We need the uranium and we need the limestone, water, and sulfur. The water. Why do you guys say 30? It should be 32, right? No, I want to look in the blender. Yeah, 32. Yep, 32. Okay, so these guys are just slightly off. Let's update these. They're 32. And 32. Yeah. And see, what I tell you about spelling. I insist there be a pH in there. Because, you know, sulfur, high pH. Oh, I hate myself. Yeah. Okay, so is that a more efficient way of doing this? Because these two are essentially the same. And you know what? I don't know. See, then not losing out on that. I'm kind of worried about head height here, because again, I can go quite tall. And I think Yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to do this. Okay, so I'm going to build off of this. Back to my original plan. All right, what do you need? You need to be free and clear. You're going to probably... Shoot. See, these are all very elevated. And it's all raw material coming in that side. Why have it? Because I was supposed to go onto the outside of the building, right? So, okay. Let's grab this. That being the case, if that is supposed to be to the outside of the building, let's instead tuck you... let's tuck you into this corner here instead. Like that. Here, we'll do that. Because then if I have the outside wall here, I could just have everything just kind of come up from the outside wall. Or I can then punch things down through the floor. Either way. Because that's all raw material coming in here. I'm wondering if they updated the recipes. Because I built this way back in, like, 8.8. So I'm wondering if they just changed the recipes slightly. Where this is now 32 as opposed to 30. Or I completely and utterly missed it last time, which is entirely possible. Alright, so 32. And fix the spelling. There we go. Still 40 limes, or 40 uranium. How much limestone is it? It is still 54 limestone. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so the EM rods are going in there. So let's actually... Whoop, nope. Let's grab some floor sections. Oh. Fine. I'll get this right sometime. So, yeah, I need to... Let's make sure this is actually tucked into the corner this time, as fully as it possibly can be. There we go. Especially this direction. There's just something sticking out just a littlest bit, and it's that guy right here. He is the problem. Do I want to erase all this? Not particularly. But I need to make an update to that Mark IV blueprint first. Ay. Nothing's ever easy. Especially when I'm fixing my own shit. I mean, that's, you know, I built these 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I am using very old blueprints. All right, let's go back down to a Mark I. I need to update the uranium fuel rod blueprint. Mostly, I need to bring that little pipe connection in by a touch. So we'll grab one of these. We're going to load up a blueprint, and we're going to load this guy up. There we go. Can I get all the rest of my conveyors and stuff? Thank you. So this guy here is the issue. Oh, because you're a wall hole. You are just a wall hole floating there. Instead of being a wall hole, let's make you one of these. That way I can kind of tuck you back. Oh. Can I just keep you within that confines there? Like that. And then can I grab... Is that going to be too tight for a pipe of any kind? It sure is. Shoot. But that's because you're not actually in the right place. Then we'll come back. Oh, that's because then you get in the way of that. Oh my goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. You're gonna need to come this way by one. Yeah, I don't want you sticking out at all. Is that gonna work for me now? This is very tight squeezing here. Just to make sure we have the right formatting. There we go. Let's get this back to the correct. Oh. There is like that part of my brain that just does not want to spell this word. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, let's go to there. And now you're going to be 32% water, or 32 per minute water. Okay, is this better than that? Nah, yeah, I think I'm not going to get it much better than this. See, that's spread out over 6 by 6, but it's on a single level, mostly. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to go with this on the, yeah, as the start point, and then we'll try to squeeze the EM rods around it. We're going to save the blueprint. Update the description, because none of that is correct. Oops. I erased the wrong direction. You're 32. Okay, and save the blueprint. Save the blueprints. I'm gonna ignore the grass. I'm just not gonna. Yeah. Okay. Now we can grab this guy here. And I should be able to get it nice and tight into the corner now. Hopefully I got nothing on this side that's going to be interfering. There we go. Perfect. Nice, tight fit. Okay. So we got that now. Let's save this so I can kind of clean up my workspace here a little bit. We're going to put you under construction lines. We're going to put you under nuclear. We're going to call you the Mark III. My changes. So you're going to go there. Uranium fuel rod as my icon. Uranium fuel rod R3. Gonna save the blueprint. And cut off. Why did you cut some off? I went to... Because I can't. Why? Oh, no. Yeah, no, it'll let me get the third one in. Apparently I can't count. We're going to save that one. Let's go back into here. And let's delete one of these? No. Move to-do list. Remove blueprint. Let's move you up to here. Apply the changes. There we go. And save blueprint. Okay, I've been using blueprints for a while. Apparently I have not made one in a while though. Okay, so now let's load that blueprint into this one. Like that. And then I can double check, make sure it is correct anyway. Yep, finish. There you go. 40 uranium, 54 limestone, 32 water, 32 sulfur. I did not connect a pipe. So we're going to need to make some connections here, and then we'll resave it. We'll go up from there, and that's going to go down from there. Yeah. Okay. Suppose I could have just done that over here, because this is the one I actually need to save, like that. Okay, and save blueprint. That directory, see, I want to never trust that it's going to save it in the right directory and not just in the root directory. There's something a little bit weird about the way that does that. Let's clear the designer and let's load that same blueprint again. Like that. And then once everything finishes propagating in, there's that pipe. And there we go. Okay. So that's 4 of the materials. Now all I need to do is get the EM rods and the pipe. Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Now where do I load those in? Hello? Hello? McFly? Right there. Okay. There we go. Okay, so EM rods. The EM rods. I need 2 assemblers up here. One for EM rods, one for... Actually, I need 3 assemblers. These are the 3 assemblers that I'm going to need. They all kind of feed one into the next, into the next, into the next. So I'm going to take advantage of that. So we're going to grab our assembler. Make sure we have some walk-in rooms. Bring you forward a little bit. Okay. You are going to be making me electromagnetic control rods. Except I only want 2. Okay. That is correct. We can then bring our conveyor like that. I cannot make that corner. Okay, I gotta move this back a little bit. In fact, what I should do here is give myself an indicator of where that should be. The line stops here. Okay, that's... Are you happy lined up? No one's stepping on anyone else? Got a little bit of walk room around there. Yep, that seems to be okay. So we'll put that one there. And then we can go all the way up. And there we go. Perfect. Don't need this anymore. It should be downgrading these to Mark 3s. There we go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to set up a new window for this. Yeah, let's do this. Let's actually do and kind of set up our new thing. So what do I need? I'm going to want my Mark 3 belt, Mark 3 lift, conveyor pole. Could probably get away with Mark 1 pints, but we're going to put those. And those. Oh, whoops. Those. We'll put the constructor on 7. And that should be fine for now. Yeah, that should be okay for now. Except the smelter. There we go. Okay. So now when I put things in, like a Mark 3 lift, Mark 3 belt, it is doing what I want it to do. All right, so. Okay. Now you two are going to be sharing steel pipe. And we already have limestone somewhere. So limestone is right here. So that needs to join up. So we're going to grab a merger. Lift you up into the air. And I can come out one little bit more. Right, our lift. You're making concrete here. Are you my one and only concrete? Oh. I just need to send this concrete somewhere. So I'm already sending the concrete somewhere, frankly. Which is running into here. Huh, wait a minute. What am I doing? I've already got encased industrial beams. I'm lost. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't need this. This is done. Stop it. I'm supposed to be making EM rods. Oh, geez, Louise, man. Okay, let's try this again. Without being dumb. That was a dumb. I had so much dumb going on right there. It was an epidemic of dumb. Dumb, da dum dum. Dummy. I'm not... Okay. Right, because it's stators in the... I got myself all confoodalized for no reason. Okay. Let's try this again. But, you know, not being an idiot. Go. And then your EM rods. And your 2 per minute. There. I don't know why I was overcomplicating that. That's all you need to do. Now, behind you... you shall be stators. Which kind of stator? The quick wire kind of stator. How many of these do I need? I need 3. Pardon me. And then for belting, I can just do that. Now, AI limiter. Ooh. I cannot fit you in there. That's fine. So the next one needs to be AI limiter, and they're both going to be receiving quick wire at some point. Now I have all this room underneath here. Which I am going to have to save. A little bit. So, but I don't need anything else. I just need the assemblers up here. So I'm going to work with, utilize that fact. So let's get you lined up like that. You are going to be AI limiters. And I just remembered I have a hard drive sitting over there. How many AI limiters do I need? I need 2. Yeah. Yep. So we got stators. We got AI limiters. Perfect. We need to get you 2 plugged into each other. And we're going to do so by going upward and avoiding the machine. So we'll come over to here. Like that. Grab our Mark 1 belt. Or Mark III belt, and you should just absolutely tank it going through the pipe. Let's try it going this way. Yeah, that's what I meant. Ish. I'm not really happy with that. Let's try running the belt the other direction. See if that gives me a nicer result. There we go. See, now it just kind of skips along and scooches along there. Perfect. All right. Now, you two both need quick wire. So if I grab you and point you in that direction, I grab a splitter. Goes to here. Like that. Then I come up a little bit, like that. You can throw you into there. And you into there. Of course, I will have to make sure I hook all the power up. Let's do that now before I forget. There's a power pole there, so let's come off. Oh, that's another thing I'm going to need over here. Let's grab our electrical power. Throw you on 9, and we'll throw you on 10. And then you can go to here. And like that. And then into there. Into there. Okay, so you two are hooked up. And then you bring your line forward, and then you can just go into there. And that's already marked 2, so I have plenty of connections there. Okay, so I just added the 3 machines. They're powered in, they're plugged in. You are making stators, you are making AI limiters. And excellent. Okay, so that's those guys. So let's have a look again at our map. By map, I mean plan. All right, so that is over here. I still need to find the pipe in there, but we now have these all done. We still need to get these. So that's literally 5 more machines, and we're done. And they're the simplest of the machines. Excellent! I love it! It's coming together! It might actually work. Yeah, it might actually work. Okay, cool. And then I can just, you know, gussy up the outside here when I put it in. Now, I would like to have everything. No, actually, you know what? It probably is better that I don't have everything kind of coming up right on top of each other, but at least coming in from the same side. So we're going to flow in this way, which actually kind of works out. Yep. Okay. Let's get the next bit of this in. Sorry, I just need to be able to see. Oh, I did it again. Oops, I did it again. I gotta stop closing the modeler instead of minimizing the modeler. All right, there we go. Okay, so next thing I want to get is, what do you need? What are you looking for? You need the quick wire, and you need the quick wire. Okay, so you two, where are you getting your steel pipe from? Okay, so this is the quick wire input right here. If that's the quick wire input right there, what I need to do is grab a constructor that is going to do my quick wire input. Where does that constructor need to go? I don't know. I am going to have to put in a floor hole. There, so I know where you need to be. And we'll just kind of just drop one of these down for now, so I know where you need to rest. Oops. Well, poop, poop, poop. I'm not moving all that. We're just gonna have to be clever down here. So the problem is that doesn't quite line up. Oh, hang on. But what I can do is just go like this. I should still have the space. Yeah, that gets me really close to that wall, though. And this is going to be quick wire. Is it better to do it that way, or better to do it like this? And by like this, I mean is have this rotate by 90 degrees and then pump in. I can actually center that a little nicer. It's a bit of a wasted space. It's not the most efficient usage of the space. But I can just do this now, right? Yeah, okay. So, quick wire. Now, you do need to be a little bit more, because I need... How many do I need? I need 62.5. So we're going to just make 65 of these. I want a nice round number here. What's the percentage? Let's go 105% on this. There, 63. Perfect. Okay, I hate those weird round numbers. It gives me 12.5 up the deuterium, but that is okay. All right, so the quick wire is coming out of here. It is then loading up into there, going into the splitter. Some of it's going to go this way. Some of it's going to go this way. And that's my quick wire. Okay, so let's get the steel pipe in next. We also need our deuterium ingots, but that actually super easy, barely an inconvenience. What are the ingots are going to be, or the that's a smelter. That is going to be a smelter. So let's grab a smelter. Really? Smelter's not on that line, eh? Oh, no, it is on a separate line. And it is in slot 8. Hey, look, there's a smelter. Ooh. No, I can't do that. What can I do with this to make this... Keeping it compact, keeping room to move. Again, how do I get up there? Can I move around up that floor? I can get up here. I have kind of a staircase moving around. I can actually put a corner staircase in right here. Okay, this is one of the times, weirdly enough, that I missed the old stairwell. I liked the old staircase. It wasn't great, but it had its usages. Okay, and then I have a... That could not go anywhere near I wanted it to. Alright. So we have a little staircase now going upstairs. I can get around through here easy enough. Yeah, navigating down here is pretty straightforward. Cool. Let's get some power. So you're not powered at all. You are powered. You are not. What about you? Neither are you. So all these power lines up here go nowhere. So what I'm going to do here, let's grab that. We'll move down through here. There we go. Those two are connected now. Your power connection probably has to go this way. Go there. Let's plug you into there. Let's bring you up to here. And across. I'm also thinking I want to throw a few lights up here. I'm going to put a light panel there. And let's put another light panel there. And there we go. Actually... Nah, we'll put a light panel here instead. Put one there. One there. And then... Well, technically that's the center, so I'm going to keep that there. The only reason it's not going to the center is because I come up by one there. It all makes sense, really. Okay. What are you doing? You're doing quick wire. What do you need? You need deuterium ingots. You need a smelter of some kind. So, smelter. I'm in the wrong menu. Smelter. I need a smelter. How am I gonna get my smelter? Alright, let's go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's figure out where I need it to be. Let's go there. And then we're gonna have it come out there. Means I want you right there. I want you there. What have I got left? I need a foundry. Another smelter for the copper. Another constructor. 2 more constructors. Where do I want to put you? I think I want to bring you over to the other side. like that instead. Okay, let's come forward one little bit. Actually, yeah, you do need to come forward one little tiny bit. Weird. Okay, and you're lined up, and we come forward by one. There we go. Okay. Okay, so, what are you making? You're making me Caterium ingots. How many Caterium ingots do I need per minute? I need a whopping 13. 12 and a half to be exact, but we'll go with that. You should, in fact, be 80. Let's make you down to 85%. And that leaves me just the tiniest little bit of overhead. Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. Okay. You need some power. We need power line. Where is your power connection? It is tucked in over there. So we can come all the way forward like that. And we'll just plug you into there. Okay. So Caterium ore goes into there. I'm not going to worry about putting the Caterium ore in yet. Okay, so that's the quick wire. Now I need my copper sheet. You're still pipe. I'll get back to you. You're going to get the copper sheet. Where have I got room for your copper sheet? Probably right in here. Yeah, okay, that'll work. We'll put you down there, and then we'll finish up, except we're going to take a little 5-minute break, and then we'll carry on. But yeah, we're just going to take a quickie break here, and I'll be right back, and we'll finish off our new nuclear fuel rod assembly plant. something nice about smooth jazz that I don't know. I blame the peanuts, to be honest. Okay, what am I doing? Where was I? Who are you? You're not Quickwire. What was I doing? I don't remember. God damn, it was only like a minute ago. Steel pipe? Maybe? Copper sheet. That's what I was working on. Copper sheet. I remember now. The copper sheet is gotta go all the way up into here. So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna put one of those in. Nope, we're gonna go like that, and then we're gonna go like that. That's gonna come out right through the damn light, but you know what? That's fine. That's just perfectly fine, especially the fact that it kind of fits in perfectly there. Okay, excellent. And then we're gonna come up. And we just simply connect them. Make sure we're using the straight, and there we go. So, copper of the sheet. The sheet of copper. Like so. Okay. And conveniently, we can punch them there. Okay. Let's turn that off. All right, so copper sheet, copper sheet, copper sheet, copper sheet. Who else gets copper? No one else gets copper, so we can bring a copper smelter in. Let's put one of these in first. We're gonna send you that way. And put you there. Point you going that way. Grab you. Point you going that way. And hopefully, nope, we're gonna go back to auto. No, default. Oh, nope, we're gonna have to bring you back by one. Okay, so that puts not that. Nah! Let's try that again. So you were there. We're coming back to here. Then we can grab this, go like that. And now I should be able to fit that belt in. Not under the straight mode, not on the curve mode, but on the default, which means it is a valid flare. Okay, let's bring a power line to the back here, and we can connect you to there. What are you making? You are not making that. You are making me copper ingots. How many of the copper ingots do I actually, in fact, need? I need 67%. Let's go 68%, because I need 20. Again, I like to have just the tiniest little bit of overflow. So 68% copper sheet for a total of 20.4 will then feed into this guy here, which will be making me 10.5. I need 10, which will then go into the AI limiters, which are right here. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, that still leaves me lots of room for you, and you are the steel pipe, which goes into 2 separate locations. Now, can I redirect? The steel pipe is actually underneath here, isn't it? So who needs the steel pipe down here? You need the steel pipe down here. You need the steel pipe right there. So what we can do is let's take out this line here. See, that's still perfectly fine. I don't mind that. Yeah, let's take out this, this, and that. Okay. And yes, steel pipe. Okay, so steel pipe is coming out of a constructor. That's a smelter, that's a constructor. They look very differently. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to park you right beside your big brother here. And let's try to get you kind of more or less lined up. Like that. Yep. Let's grab a splitter. Like that. Okay, okay. Yeah. Okay. Try to keep things nice and clean. Just like that. That is absolutely no reason to do that. No reason to have that squeezed in so tight. I don't like having my belts. It's a perfectly, it works just fine, but, I don't like not be able to see the belts. So I don't need to have elevated here. I just need to make sure you're nice and straight and clean. Nice and straight and clean. And nice and straight and clean. There we go. Okay, so that's steel pipe. We're not using iron pipe. There's an iron pipe. There's an iron pipe. Wait just a minute here. There's an iron pipe recipe. Let's see what that does to our numbers. I didn't even clue in that I could use that. Yeah, okay, let's take that out. Iron pipe. You can still go up into there, and I can eliminate this whole coal line right there. What the hell are you? Oh, iron ingot. Yeah, okay. And into there. And that breaks nothing. And it eliminates the foundry. Also eliminates an entire input. I mean, it's counting on an alternate recipe. But so what? Do I want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I might as well. Yeah, let's use the iron pipe. Iron pipe. Iron pipe. As long as it gets the same damn job done. Okay, where do you got to go, Mr. Pipe? Mr. Pipe needs to go into this hole here. There you go, Mr. Pipe. With a Mr. Lift doing that. Then underneath here, that almost lined up. Not quite, but almost. And then up to the ceiling like that, and yeah. All right, okay, let's tuck you over here. And we're using straight, just like that, keeping everything out of the way. Okay, iron ingots. How many do I need of these pipes? I don't know. How many do I need? I did it again. I keep closing the stupid modeler. Gosh darn it. All right, how many pipe do I need? I actually need 7.2 and 6, which is 13.2 at 53%. So what I'll do here is I'll set you to 55%. That'll make sure everybody gets enough. And it means I need 55 iron ingots. Okay, what are you? You are waiting for copper ore. And what else do I have going on? I think we have the Caterium right here. The Caterium ore loads in here. It can still go all the way down to the end here. In fact, let's do that. Let's actually, because I think we're just about done with this thing. Really? Are we really? Yes, we really are. It's cute. I use those little itty bitty lights. Oh, I use those itty bitty little lights. Oh, those might actually work better for me. Ooh. That's Roland. You beautiful man, you. You made life easy for me. Instead of having that lift go through there, I can grab these little guys here and do a better job of lighting, or maybe I just do a blend with. Like that. Put one there. One there. How bright are you guys? Yeah, you're full on. There. No, we're going a little bit further apart. There and there. And then I can go here and here. Here and here. And do the same thing here and here. Okay. Yeah, that's giving me lots of light. Okay, what am I doing? You're... Oh, iron ingot. Okay. That means now I need a smelter. Hey, look. Smelter. Space you out just a smudge. Do I need to space you out at all? Are these ingots going anywhere besides... No. It's literally the only bit of iron I'm using. Everything else is either copper, caterium, sulfur, limestone, uranium, or water. Okay. So we just need one of these going into there. You are going to be making me my iron ingots. Yep, that's fine. Okay, cool. All right, how many am I making? I need... Oh, this one actually has to go... Oh, this is a twofer. Yeah, this is a twofer. Instead of using the power crystal, instead, what I'm going to do here, let's actually back up a little bit. Beep, beep, beep. Let's pop you in there. Let's grab our smelter. Because we're going to have one of you here, which will be making iron ingot. Need to do a little bit, tiniest bit of math here. So I need, how many iron ingots do I need? I need, let's go with 54 divided by 2 is 27 per machine. So you're going to be making me 27, which is 90%. Perfect. It's a nice round number. Then I can copy you. Actually, we can just copy you. Do that. Let's do this again. I missed. We're going to do that. Pop you right in the side. And belt you guys all together. All right, joining up, we are going to, we do an overhead. I got space? Yeah, I got space. I'm gonna put one of you here temporarily. because I'm going to grab my... Need to know where my splitter needs to go, which is right here. Make sure we have it on splitter. Yep, like that. One, we need to move upward. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's not going to make that corner very well at all, is it? No. Do I need to walk between these machines? I can get through that way. Okay. We're going to do that instead. We're not going to go all the way up. We are just going to keep it down on the floor. Just like that. They're going to get processed through, and then they're all going to end up in this fella. Excellent. Okay. I should probably put some labels here. What are you supposed to be? I don't remember. That's the problem. You are, let's call you 38.25 Caterium. So let's grab a sign. Right there. And change you to 32.5 Caterium. And probably spelled it wrong again. Okay, where is the copper? Hey, you are my copper line. Oh, hey, look at that. Okay, yep. So my steel and my copper, or my iron and my copper, kind of sneak right past each other here a little bit. So if I bring my iron over by 1, I can sneak you through there. Just have to replace you a little bit lower, because I got to give a little bit of room here for the copper to sneak across the top here. We'll grab that belt here, and we'll actually do a little bit of maneuvering, so we'll come down. Why do you not like that? Let's go back to default. Yeah, okay. Let's default. And then we gotta come across the top here. Are you in the right place? You are. You are in the right place. Okay, we're gonna run into a machine here, but that's okay, because we can just go right above it now. Just like that. And in fact, if I position this just right, I think that should do. I should be able to squeeze in a lift. Oh, nope, I need to have a belt connected here first. You're going that way, so we're going to start down here. I'm going to line you up with a Caterium. And over. Yep, that is correct. And okay, I didn't screw it up. Perfect. Okay, now we could do that. All right. And how much iron? I need 52.8 iron ore. Oh, bummer. By bummer, I mean I hit escape, not enter. All right. You are, what did I just say? 52.8 iron ore. And there we go. This is actually working out pretty good. Got some interesting little columns in here. I forgot about. Yeah, we can get some nice lighting in here. Okay, now I just need to run the copper line. Need to get out of the console. I'm going to run the copper. And we'll come over by 1. And we'll line you up right there. And I'm going to take the belt out because I went in the wrong direction. You have to go this way down to here. And then it's there, except what we'll do is we'll use the straight function and we'll go that way. Okay, how much copper am I needing? I am needing a whopping 20 copper. And 20 copper ore. All right. Okay. All right. Everyone needs some power. Okay, who is not powered? You are powered. We can test just by kind of waving. You're not. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's get you some power. Neither are you. So neither one of you guys currently has any juice. So let's do to here. There and into there. And then we can come off of this after I upgrade it to a, sure, we'll just go to a Mark III. And then I can plug you into there. All right, anyone else not powered? You are not powered. None of you guys are. Why are none of you guys powered? Because some of you have already been part of this blueprint all along. And you still don't have any power. Okay, well that's fine. You know what? We can do that. You are powered. Anyone else not electrified? No. Okay. Now that I've done that, is there anything I can do with some of this stuff here? Mostly the fact is that I kind of like everything. What are you supposed to be? Limestone. Okay, because I'd like everything to kind of come in one location and not be outside the wall, because I have all of this lovely space over here. Can I redirect this limestone belt? And how easily can I do it? So if I come down through here, I can scooch along here. So if I start from here, or if I start from here, or what if I do that? And then I can go along here. And then, yeah, come in right through here. All right. Is that limestone? Why do I have this here? Probably just to help with the corner. Okay. We're gonna get rid of this limestone. All of this. Like that. I'm gonna grab the sign. I saw the sign. No, I can't. What? That one? There we go. And then you are now, what are you? 54 limestone, so 54. Limestone. Okay. Okay. So now my 54 limestone need to go through there. So we grab that. And we go this way. We want to go this way, this way. And like that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And the sulfur might be just a tad more challenging. The sulfur and the water are going to be a bit of a pain in the neck to get over to that other end. But what would happen if I simply just reverse this? Finish the limestone before you go doing that. Okay, so the limestone's coming down here. Come on down. You're the next contestant on. There. And now we come down. And we come out of straight mode. Oh, oop. Too sharp corner. Too sharp corner. Can I get it to be not so sharp? Not like that. I'm gonna have to come back a little bit with you. To there. Yeah, that'll work better. Okay. And we can come up to here. We'll go into there, come back by 2, because that gives me the room for a 90, and then I can go like that. Then we can make the corner. It ain't gonna like it, but that is okay, because we are just temporarily until we can... Oh, I should be able to actually extend that all the way to here without having to do anything. Yeah! Alright, limestone. Covered. Yes, hello, Mr. Radioactive Train. Okay, so that brings the limestone to there. What about the uranium? Uranium is going into the back of this, which is right where this is. But I do have lots of room over here. We can come through the floor. Okay, let's move this thing now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip the refinery around. I hope. Pardon me. Okay, let's grab a refinery. Because I can have my inputs on this side now. We'll kind of use the old pipes and stuff here as alignment. So that aligns right about there. And it shouldn't be too hard to actually move things up and down the floor. And I think I'm gonna put one of the signs there, one of the signs there. Because 32 sulfur, 32 water. So we're gonna go 32 water. And 32 sulfur. 32 sulfur. Make sure I try to get the spelling even partially correct. Now we can pull all of these out. You go, you go, you go. No more of you, no more of you, no more of you. I'll move the uranium momentarily. What are you making? Is this gonna work? Or did I just screw everything up myself? What am I doing with this refinery? I'm making sulfuric acid. Need to move this belt. Now the pipe is gonna try to go right through my walkway. But you know what? That is okay. Because I am going to move this uranium line. So let's get this all... Okay, let's be a little bit more careful doing so. Alright, that's fine. Okay. Then we're going to put our pipe hole. Say we go there. We come out. Now where are you? You need to come this way a little bit. Nope, we can go that way a little bit. Go that way a little bit. What way do I want to go? Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I want to shove you back tiniest little bit there. Okay, that means you... You what? 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 What do you want, man? What? Why do you have a collision right there? That's very irritating. Is that about right? Will that work? Sure. All work. It's just whether it looks good while it's doing it. Okay, what do we have a mode that'll... Yeah, that's fine. That's gross. No, I don't want that. I don't like that. Not at all. I hate... That's the thing I hate the most, is when pipes are got that little weird, just tiniest bit of angle. Either be a lot or be none. That's my motto on that. Alright, there we go. Okay, sulfuric acid can come up here. Now... Is there anything that'll make this just go clean? Not particularly. Not without me doing a little something something here. Let's just bring all this up. Like, to that height. And let's do another correction. And another correction. And another one. And another one. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one gone. And another one gone. And another one bites the dust. Hey, gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Sure. there. That should still work just fine. That can go into there. That can go into there. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Big yuck, big yuck. And hate that, hate that, hate that. I hate it when they do that. There we go. And then up, and up, and just want to clear out those guys. Okay. All right. Do we finally have you functioning? Yes, there we go. Functioning, or at least put into place. You are not even close to being powered yet, so we do need to connect some electricity to you. Where is your electrical connection? Your electrical connection is hiding in behind there, so I can just go boop. You are no longer connected, so we'll have to remedy that. So we're going to come up to boop. Oops. Hold it there. Yeah, we have the yuck, but we should be able to go back to horizontal vertical, and that will clean it up there. Excellent. Didn't I just go all the way up? And this oh, look at that. Nice and clean. Even better. Nice and clean. Sure. Okay. And we got the water going in, we got the sulfuric acid coming in. Sulfuric acid, I didn't touch anything on the loop, so that's still fine. What are you doing for me? You need uranium being fed into you. That's all output. So the input for the uranium is right here. Right where? 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 Right here. So let's get rid of this belt. And the lift, and let's see if we can't duck out through the floor here. Let's see where that came through. Okay, that came through right on top of this manufacturer, so I am going to have to find a clear route get you through. Oh, but I can go pretty much lots of different places here to find the space. You're all pretty clogged in there. What I do want to do is what? How am I going to? Hey, look, the straight function actually worked for something. Cool. What about if I go through here? Can I go through here and still make it through? So I can keep going all the way down through here. But then I run into this. I can come... Where I'd like to... Don't really have space that way. All right, what do I need? I need to make sure I have limestone. 54 limestone. Check. 32 caterium. Check. 32 water. Check. 32 sulfur. Check. Iron. 52.8. Check. Copper, 20 copper, check. And caterium, 32.5. Nope, that is not correct. I need 37.5 caterium. So let's just update this here to 37.5. Let's also make sure that I didn't underdo this machine. 3825, no, that is fine. I just missed it. I did it there. So what I need to do is I need to wrap the uranium somewhere over to here. Which means, how am I going to get you through here? I can come through here. Oh, actually, I can come all the way around to here. We don't go through there. Instead, what we're going to do here, we can come up through here. Down to there. That has some nice clearance through here. Now that's this. Ooh, that'll actually slip right over top of this guy. Oh, yeah. Nope, but yeah, we can wrap around here. I don't mind a weave as long as it's neat and tidy. I don't mind my belts kind of, you know, making turns and stuff. But just, to me, that adds visual interest. You might call it belt greebling. So I'm okay with that. That's not lined up. I'm gonna go up to here and to there. No, I actually need one more. Be at the same height as this, and then we can go all the way over to, oops, there. Nope, all the way down to this guy. Oh, wait. Well, that's not quite as clean as I planned. I should just come all the way up to here. And be done with it. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, let's try to do a little bit of surgery in here. Not sure why you're halfway sunk through the floor. Wait a minute. Let's try this again. I think I moved it down. Oh, that is probably what is the problem here. I accidentally moved it down because it should just be across the top. I didn't think I'd screwed up that badly. Like that. Yeah, see, that's where I expected it, and that is the correct height for this. See? It's all fine. Now, we're going to run into there. So we're going to avoid that by coming around to this side. And we only need to going up by 3 of those. And again, I can grab my Mark III belt and we go. Oop. Oh, nope, I missed. My bad. That needs to go to the top rung like that. And then we can drop. We can drop a floor hole. Where would be the nicest place? I think I want my uranium to come in right through here. Is that going to work for me? What height is that coming in at? Yeah, I should be able to pull that off. Do I want to put it there? Pardon me, sneezy face. Should miss the machine. Like that. Oh, pardon me. That one got away from me. That belt is going in the wrong, or the left is going in the wrong direction. He wants a green arrow. Not to be confused with Green Lantern. Okay. Now, question is the height correct? The question is you're gonna hit a whole bunch of stuff, but that's easy enough to get around. That's all we need to do. Pardon me, sneezing my face off here. All I need to do is give that a little bit of a turn, and we can come around here, and then we can plug that into there, and name you out. After we put a lift in right there. And then we just accept that they're not quite lined up, but we can fix this. I'd like these guys all to be basically in the same line here. Like that, and like that. Where are you going to? You got to go there. Sometimes these two-stage placements mess me up. There we go. The copper on. There. Now let's take the belt out. That was from right here. Right there. And this will be labeled for uranium, which will be 40 of the uraniums. The uranium ore. Like that. Like that. Like that. Okay. That is a self-contained machine setup. That's all right. I think that's everything. Let's double check. Okay, so things that we need to bring in. We need to bring in 40 uranium. Check. We need to bring in 54 limestone. 54 limestone. Check. We need to bring in 32 sulfur. Check. We need to bring in 32 moistures. Yep. We need to bring in 37.5, or sorry, 52.8 iron ore, 52.8 iron ore, 37.5 copper, deuterium, 37.5 deuterium, and 20 copper. Yeah, that's it. That is a self-contained now uranium fuel rod on a 6x6 platform. Excellent. And fuel rods are coming out right over here, so I'm going to put a sign for that so I just know where it's supposed to be. In fact, I'm going to put a nice big old display sign here. Let's lift you up into the air. Can I push you back? Nope. What if I push you back by half? Yeah, that'll work. All of this to produce a whopping 0.4 uranium fuel rods, which is nothing. Let's go with that. I'm going to put the fancy sign and all the picture stuff like that just to make it sure I really notice.
that it is, in fact. And you are 0.4 uranium. Fuel rod. And there we go. All right. Excellent. Okay. Output 0.4 uranium fuel rod. Input 95 alive. Okay, so we're going to be bringing in 20 copper ore. Okay, there's no tab formatting. We're bringing in 37.5 deuterium ore. We are bringing in, the next is 52.8 iron ore. Still haven't checked the hard drive to see what, or the man to see what my hard drive I have waiting for me. 32 watt airs. 32 sulfur ore. 54 limestone. Or what? And then finally, we need 40 uranium ore. Getting all this stuff to the machines, yeah, that'll be a bit of a mess because, you know, there's a bit of a rat's nest going underneath the floorboards over in the corner there, but how expensive is this thing to build? Actually, you know what? Considering the whole setup's really not that expensive to build. It's only 40 motors. It's a lot of steel beam. Yeah, 3 of these, but no big deal. Yeah, that's actually reasonably costly or cost effective. It's only actually 296 concrete so far. All right, let's save the blueprint. And now let's start thinking about how we want to enclose all of this. And areas of movement. Okay, we're going to keep it nice and high-tech looking. So let's get to our walls. There we are. Now, which windows do I want to use? We have the steel windows, or we have the regular framed windows. Can't really come too far out. Can I put pillars? And will they over? Yeah, see, the pillars actually nicely overhang outward. Ooh. See, that's kind of nice. Can't go any further than that, but I can go all the way out to there, which is all right, which is all right, which is all right, which is all right. Why did I repeat that 3 times? Why did I repeat that 3 times? Why am I still repeating it 3 times? I cannot get through here at all. Is there anything I can do differently right here? Yes, there is. We can move the stairs to the other side. Instead of coming... Yeah, let's do over here. I can go like that. Let's grab a half foundation. Like that. And then we can grab one of these. And just go down to the floor. like that. Okay. So let's put a door there and a door there. Be nice if we got some new doors. Come on, Coffee Stain, how about some new doors? These ones are getting they just don't, you know, some nice glass sliding doors would be awesome to go with the fanciest buildings that we all have here. All right, let's go there. I'm gonna put a door, not there. I'm gonna smash my face into that light stand a few more times. Now, where's the front of this building gonna be? I think I want the front actually to be over here. Mostly because it lends itself more to being a bit of a lobby space here. So let's grab... let's actually change this up. Let's change this up to one of these. Then... Oh! You're forgetting I got... Am I missing? What am I missing here? Yeah, why aren't you showing up? You know what? No, let's go with the big ass. Let's go big ass. Let's go big ass door. Big ass door. It's a nuclear power plant. It deserves a big ass door. Okay. And we'll come up with I'm gonna use these guys. Like that. What do I want to use for walls? Guess we'll just stick with the concrete for now. Yeah, and then we're gonna go across. Like that. And like that. And then we can put another row of windows, except this time we're gonna go all the way out to the edge. And then we can grab you and drop you down. Drop you down. Just divide that line in half. Yeah, we'll just do that. There we go. Across here. Grab some window glass. Ooh, I think I could make that work. Well, you work over here. You won't, you bastard! Damn it. Okay. Well, that's okay. That's okay. So I just want to get, again, just trying to create some interesting lines and, you know, not just all the kind of the same, you know, 4 this and 8 this and, you know, we are kind of limited in the architectural shapes that we do have. It seems to be the ongoing curse between the 2 different games that I played, between Space Engineers and Satisfactory here, is that we really just... we don't have a lot of variety in our shapes. So just, you know, you want to find all kind, you know, just different ways of kind of breaking up the sameness. And I think that'll look nice. Yeah. Okay, so let's then drop it down to 1. Then let's grab ourselves some windows here. Cross like that. And we're all staying inside with the blender there. Nothing's poking out. Yes, the root that is going to poke out, but that is exactly what I'm after. I like the smokestacks coming out of the top of the roofs. And that's the Canadian accent there, as opposed to roofs. I said roof. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Can I get away with some? Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh. Just for a little extra excitement, let's make sure that if water ever starts leaking, it goes right into the building. Ha ha ha! Oh. Like that. Like that. And then we can go across like that. And... you know what? No, let's... Again, I just want to break up the lines as many places as possible. I'm trying to break up the straight lines and stuff like that. So if I can go across like that, and then I grab something like that. Something like that. And then for where it's coming out through the hole in this, or the smokestacks coming out, I should have this guy here. Which, if I do the half moves, I should be able to go... No. Yeah. No. I messed that up. Alright, that's lined up that way. Can we come over a half? So there. How does that look? Can I just stack these guys? Ooh. Can I stack them? Yes, apparently I can. Giving it a little bit more of an intentional shape. Let's paint it to something much darker. Yeah, there we go. I mean, half of it is kind of sticking below, but that's cool. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Yeah. There we go. All right. Over here. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. The sun shining. Hey, mister. Don't you be running into my stuff. Ooh, you're just clearing my water tower. That's the first time I actually looked to see. Okay, stop that. Really? Where'd the other one go? Here it is. That one goes there. That one goes there. We are going to go all the way up. We can put soup back in again. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. The sun shine. Ooh, I like that. I did use the wrong windows here, though. Did I? No, I'm going to leave those there. I like those. Yeah, okay. And then we can put in just solid concrete. with a little tiny cap there. And up to there. We'll put those in there. Autosave messed me up on the click. And then we can go there. I have the space for a pillar right in the corner here, don't I? Do I want it to be... No, I do want it to... no, because then I have to do it to all the corners. Do I want to do it all the corners? Of course I do. Well, at least these back corners. Yeah, let's not have you go all the way up to like that. Let's bring you down a couple. Let's grab some windows all the way up like that. Like that. We'll run a beam or pillar. Come on. And lock you down by hitting H. Yeah, let's run a pillar all the way across. And come back there. There we go. Okay, that's the back floor. I kind of like these pillars being a dividing line here. I'm going to keep... No, before I do that, I have to fill the wall in. Okay, that's the back wall. The front wall here. And just looking for interesting shapes. That's all I'm doing here, is just looking for some interesting shapes. Non-repeating patterns as much as possible. Again, why do I keep using the wrong damn window here? Can I change you easily? No, of course not. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, on this side, let's actually try to use the right things here. I kind of like to be able to see all of that. I mean, each wall can be its own thing, right? Because there's no symmetry to the outside. I think, therefore I am this card. Or that card. So, as long as it's got some desserts on it, I'm happy. What if I go across like that? Can I drop you down a little bit? Yes, I can. No, I should probably... Yeah, so I'm using these for the upper floor. Let's keep doing that. So we'll come down again by 2. Go across, go across, go across. We'll just fill these guys in. And fill you in across the top here like that. Okay, that's all that wall. Just need to get some glass in over here. So we're using the big bay windows here, and oh, no, I do need to keep that one there. Yeah, let's do it that way. So it does have a little bit of an effect, you know, on the patterning and the texture pattern and stuff like that, but there we go. Okay, that's closed off. That's all closed off. Everything is awesome. Everything's fine. It's just fine. Okay, now for these, don't really have a way. What I want to do is yeah, I guess I can get away with that. And then can I go across here? No, because I'm going to run into this window here. And that's a bit problematic. So why don't I just take these two guys out? Find a place where I can position you so I can maneuver you around. Drop you down. You're not really wanting to play very well, are you? Okay, come on back. You can go there. I want to be a little bit consistent from that side. Okay. So we're just gonna go. What have I got here? Oh, wrong windows. There's windows here. Let's use the same windows. And just to have that tiniest little bit of consistency, there we go. And then we put these two guys in there. All right. Okay. Now we can do more with our pillars. Hit H. That is not the correct height, so we'll bring you up by one. There you go. And over to the other side. Kick on through to the other side. H. And up. The bottom there. And drop it down. That was a big chunk of debris. And nudge you over. There we go. I'm gonna drop this pillar down by one, because I don't want to interfere with kind of the window look I've got going on there. But you guys can definitely reach for the sky. And drop you down by a couple of noogies. Move you over by a couple of noogies. And just for shits and giggles, let's move you over, raise you up, and over there, and there. right, and there is one self-contained nuclear fuel rod. Yeah, okay, excellent. All right, let's save it up. We're going to save our blueprint here. Why do I get the feeling you saved it in the wrong location? See, this is what I'm talking about. Little annoying things like this. Why? You were already saved over here. Why would you move? Like, make it make sense. Okay. Uranium fuel rod Mark III complete. And save the blueprint again. Alright, that means we can get rid of all the rest of this stuff here now. So we're going to clear the blueprint designer. Thank you for your service here. Can I escape this menu, please? Gather up the concrete and all of the resources. Let's see what happens if I try to delete this with the blueprint on top of it. Of course, it will not delete. We can clear the designer from that. And all of this. There we go. And that's done. Perfect. So next week, we can start populating right in these open areas here. So what I'm replacing, just so again we're clear, what I've just been doing is that, where is one of them? Taking this setup, and so I'm taking these two. Okay, sorry, I'm getting stuff on my Teams. Let's just make sure we're not sharing that screen anywhere. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm replacing... What am I replacing? I'm replacing all of this. Yeah. So all of this now fits in that. So it's just a little bit more compact, a little bit cleaner, a little bit tighter. And it still will just run the two reactors. Speaking of which, how are we actually doing over here now? I'm going to put on my jetpack. Just good. No, that's not a jetpack. Stop double hitting it, damn it. There we go. Just because I can move around a little faster. So yeah, you're full of fuel rods. You're full of water. You have no waste in you. Full of fuel rods, full of water. Full of fuel rods, full of water. Full of fuel rods, full of water. Yeah, so we're only currently running 8 of these guys anyway, so yeah, I would like to get it up a lot more. Alright, what happened to you? What happened to you? Why? What's going on? Come on, talk to me, Goose. Talk to me, Goose. Yeah, none of you guys are getting any fuel rods. What's going on here? Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to the hover pack. Alright, so I got some stuff to do to figure out here, but I'm not gonna
do the diagnosis for you. We're hitting kind of where we're going to call it a day. Once again, thank you guys for watching and joining me on this lovely Valentine's Day. Go spend time with your loved ones. Have a great day. Don't do anything that'll hurt anybody. I don't know what that means. I'm just making shit up as I go along. Until next time, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.